looking out the window as you're holding that button. So I'm gonna go ahead and do up the next, do up the next button just for photo reasons. I'll have to move you close, so let me know when you have your shot.
Oh boy. I can't look in your eyes.
And around. It's better than having a whole bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, that's true. Very nice, which is nice.
Did you put the light on?
Yeah, thanks.
No.
Yeah. Do this? Are they still getting this?
Yeah.
Okay, you tell me what's.
Do you remember how to do this one?
I think so. Just make sure it's flat, right? Make sure it's even. Okay, do you want to just tell me?
What are you doing? You're not asking to record.
Okay, you want me to not do that?
It's not even dressed in 30 minutes.
What's the N word?
Oh, she's gonna. That's adorable. Stop.
Okay, yeah. It's not really back. So that was vintage, right?
Corsets then.
I mean, it's like corset, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the. Sorry. Oh, wait. It's just. Okay.
It's easier for me to.
Last one. That's it?
Yep. Don't pull it. I am just.
Your mom hasn't seen this, has she?
No.
No one's seen this, right?
I didn't even, because the one I'm doing
Oh, Debbie. Oh my gosh.
Stop it, you're gonna make me cry. Okay, this is expensive makeup, okay?
Okay.
Okay, do it. Can you read it? Just open it up.
Debbie.
No, it says D&D-R-R for Tears of Joy.
Oh, you guys.
So that's for you to use.
I will be using it.
Hang on, don't.
Wait, she started.
Wait, don't open it up. Okay, so this one's for you.
Do I wear it on the left or the right?
Well, the one that doesn't have your left is good. It's supposed to be her.
I don't know if you write it down.
Samantha. Like this? Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, now your arm, you're gonna be on my right side, right?
I can switch.
Just let it go.
Big squeeze.
Can I get one of that too, Jake, before you go? Are you good?
This is a family show. It's only film. It's got to be secure in the airport. I was gonna go do the birthday suit thing, but
No.
You have more to gain than anybody else. Send an email.
Buy the
But
money
it could
back.
be 20 grand.
And if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna make you
I told him to. Grandma, tell George to sit with me.
All right, you got this.
Okay, so we're gonna stand outside.
Joined together here today to help two people on their way as Phil and Debbie start their lives together. And now we've reached their special day. We've come to help them celebrate and show them how much we all love them too, yeah. Hallelujah, 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 Pastor and family will lead the prayers. We'll say our lives and they'll say theirs. We'll guide them through the ceremony. Oh yeah. Friends, their steps starts walking down the aisle. Bill looks up and gives a smile. The love they share could fill to show their love than say those two important words I do. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Request that I have is that you would enjoy this time. And that's why we are here. So as we've come here today, let us begin with a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Our Lord, we thank you for the beauty of this day, for all that you've created. And in particular, we thank you for Phil and Debbie, that you would enjoy this time. And that's why we're here. So as we've come here today, let us begin with a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Our Lord, we thank you for the beauty of this day, for all that you've created. And in particular, we thank you for Phil. We thank you for the journey that they've been on and the journey that they're committing to publicly before family and friends before you. And Lord, I pray that your blessing would be upon them. And in these moments, may we give you thanks for the love that we are witness to. And we pray all this in your name. Amen. Guests may be seated. Who gives this woman to this man? I was going to say somebody should be on deck here because if I lose control here and start firing too much, but this is a very special day. And Deb and Phil, I thank you for allowing me to be here in this place. It's been my privilege to get to know you a bit over these last few years, and I hope that will continue to grow in the days ahead. I wonder what I could share today, and there are many metaphors for life, one of which is life is a journey. And I thought of Phil and Debbie perhaps backpacking. And I think that's not a stretch. And so as I was thinking about this, I thought, you know what, each person carries their own backpack. And as I was reading in the Bible, there's one verse that says that each man should bear his own burden. It's an illustration, it's more of a military illustration, and that each soldier has their own kit they're responsible for. But when I was thinking about your relationship, you have that backpack that you're both going to carry. It's your own personal weight. But a few verses later in the book of Galatians in the Bible, it says that you should bear one another's burdens. And while you have your own responsibility, there are times on the journey when your strength is needed for that other individual. And you're aware of that. The journey that you've already been on, you've had many triumphs, you've had trials, and you've been there for each other. And so I want to encourage you to think of that backpack that you carry. Don't carry anything in that backpack that is Jesus. Only carry what is needed. And only carry especially what is needed for your time to continue to give to them. Two quick bits of wisdom that I found a blessing in my own marriage. If you don't understand, don't misunderstand. Talk. Keep the channels clear. And the other one is this. You can give without loving, and love without giving. And I know you. And I want you. May God bless you on this journey that has seen the path crossed. Now you're walking, you're going to continue to walk together. May God bless the path as we go. I'm going to ask you to just turn and face each other at this time. Okay. Phil William Ritchie, the one whom you hold by the hand is to be your best friend. You promise before God and these witnesses to be faithful to her alone and to be your loving husband. I do. Debbie Lynn Sweeney, The one whom you hold by the hand. I guess we better do that. Okay. All right. I'll make this official. Okay. The one whom you hold by the hand is to be your best friend. Do you promise before God and these witnesses to be faithful to him alone and to be his loving wife? Phil, repeat after me. I, Philip.
I, Philip,
Choose you, Debbie. And I promise before God and his witnesses
promise before God
to be your soul through this life and the next.
this life
To always be real.
will always be real,
To always be honest.
always be honest,
To always be your partner.
always be your partner,
And to never steal your dreams.
never steal your dreams,
To always believe in you
always believe in you,
and in us. And to have faith in our love.
and have faith in our love,
To always be the apprentice.
will always be your
And to not take our relationship for granted. Cherish romance and play.
cherish romance and love,
To look for the good in all things. I promise to cherish Britain as my own.
promise to cherish Britain as my own,
To always take care of our family. May my heart be your shelter.
May my heart be your shelter,
And my arms be your home.
arms be your home.
As I have given you my hand to hold,
Give me my hand to hold,
I give you my life to keep.
give me my life to keep.
And if I leave this earth before you do,
I leave this earth before you do.
I will wait for you. And we will backpack through heaven
We will back out
together for the rest of eternity.
together for the rest of our life.
I will always be.
We will always
I, Debbie, choose your Philip, and I promise before God and these witnesses to be your soulmate through this life and the next. To always be real. To always be honest. To always be your partner. To never steal your dreams. To always believe in you. And in us. And to have faith in our Lord. To always let you be the apprentice. Do not take our relationship for granted. Cherish romance and play. To look to the good in all things. I promise to cherish Madison and Cole as my own, and to always take care of our family. My heart will be your shelter, and my arms will be your home. As I've given you my hand to hold, I give you my life. And if I leave this earth before you, I will wait for you. Put your back down to cover you for the rest of eternity. I will hold you. So what pledge do you give in sincerity of your vows? Debbie, do you accept this ring as a pledge of sincerity? Okay. Okay. Debbie, do you accept the ring as a pledge of sincerity of your vows? Debbie, what pledge did you give the sincerity of your vows? Bill, do you accept this ring as a pledge of the sincerity of her vows? Wedding ring is the outward and the visible sign of an inward and spiritual bond which unites two hearts in the endless love. The circle, the emblem of eternity, the gold, the type of what is least tarnished and most enduring. It is to show how lasting and imperishable is the faith now pledged. Let these rings be fit tokens of that which is unending. Continue to be the symbols of the value, the purity, and the constancy of true wedded love, and the seals of the vows in which you have both pledged your most solemn and sacred honor. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you in this moment for the vows that have been exchanged, for the dedication that has been proclaimed of Debbie and Phil's love for one another. We pray your seal upon these vows in a physical way with the rings that they've exchanged. May the love that they have for one another continue to grow deep. And as we as witnesses, may we stand with them, encouraging them as they join together as husband and wife. And again, we thank you for all that has been pledged before you and before each person here. We pray this in your name. Amen. And as much as you have thus consented in holy wedlock, and have pledged the same before God and these rings, and have acknowledged your vows with the token of these rings, I, by virtue of the authority vested in me as a minister of the Word of God, and by the laws of this province, pronounce you husband and wife, united in the pure and holy bonds of marriage. Those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. Bill? Sorry, you guys.
So what'd you guys think?
It was a wonderful ceremony. We couldn't be happier for Debbie and Phil. We haven't lost a daughter, we've gained a son.
Exactly. Exactly.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that is.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Very emotional.
You want me to carry your train? Should I be carrying your train? Isn't that my job? I'm gonna throw this on the headset. Yeah. Okay. You want me to carry your train so you get it dirty? Beautiful.
You can, that's so cute. Right here? Let me see. Wow!
Wow, that's awesome. Again? Real beautiful. Wow. That looks spectacular.
Congratulations.
So beautiful, eh? Okay. Such a great job.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, it's our pleasure. You look beautiful. Your dress is gorgeous.
Can't take much more. You want to? I think people are wondering.
So we have Gus back there and then Curry up in front.
So you want a picture? Just don't go too far away.
Yeah. Everyone wants a horse picture first?
His name is Curry.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like this is gonna be
Can you guys come in really?
All three of us?
Yeah, if you want to hold him.
Can I kiss him? Like, not the horse thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name? Curry. Like the spice. So beautiful. Wow. So
Where's my son?
So cool. Yeah. This is Britt and Madison. We're going to go over here. We're going to go Emily, Grace.
I think they're going to do like a little tour and then they're going to come back and take them up. And it should be gorgeous.
Hey, it's like one of those like
perfect.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're gonna put side by side Dayton, and then Bob and Donna.
Yes, there you go.
Do we have the kids in? Yep. Kids, nice. Have the kids. Where do you want? Can we? Do you like them? We're just like we're gonna put you all on.
What a nice looking family down there.
Okay, kids can come out. And now I need Greg, Val, Meg, and Allie.
Okay, that's right.
And I see my date just a little bit. Yes, sweetie. Wow. No, no, you're
Am I in your way?
No.
Everybody's right here. Okay, so Bob and Donna.
Perfect.
Yeah, that happened. James, everybody right here. Okay, so Meg and Allie, you can come in.
That's a Grammy shot right
You guys want to check?
Perfect. Nice. Okay, Phil, you can come back in, and James, you're gonna add to this picture as well.
Okay. Young. Girl.
All right, so we'll get you to sneak back over on this side, Phil. Phil's gonna come over here. It's gonna be your groom now. Okay. You're gonna be right beside Debbie.
Oh. Okay, yeah, okay.
And James is in as well, the four of them.
All four of us? You want like on the other? You want me beside Debbie?
Yes.
Don't step on her dress.
Right, that's right.
Oh, I was gonna lose it. Yeah. Did you hold it together? You hold it together? Excellent. Bobby, do you have your jacket?
Madison, could you tell the horse people to go who's ever available if somebody's not in your spot? Just who's ever available for a horse ride can if they're not there, right? They can fill in. They can fill in.
Anybody can go.
Should they just go look at the list?
Yeah, and try and help
Pretty
us.
sure as well.
Yeah, the list will be good.
Okay, so right here.
Mo has the list. Thanks for asking.
Can I read the capture next one?
Later.
I'm right here.
I mean, like,
You're gonna get care down here.
bachelor kind of thing.
Okay, Debbie, you're this one also.
I should pretend to marry somebody.
Are you,
And then I was like, look, I was ready.
Are we all done?
yeah, I think we're done.
We're gonna go for a horse ride.
Your wedding party? No, it's
Are you okay?
What's wrong? Are you stuck?
Well, you're stuck on your own fringes.
Yeah, stuck on her fringes. That's like
I need help.
of the therapy kind.
All right. Way to go, Kiara.
Okay, so if you can turn your towards your wife.
Your wife! That's me!
So everybody right here. Everyone looks so pretty. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to, you're still not here. We'll do wedding. What's that? Oh yeah, Dayton's here.
Dane's back in the day with
And Graham is just here. I'm pulling over too close.
Would you mind, Samantha, while we're waiting for Trevor?
Yeah.
Could George come as my mom and we could do one with us?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And make it big stall.
Okay, so
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay.
We just gotta find Trevor, Cheryl. He's on the bus. Okay. What else? Oh, there's Trevor there.
perfect.
Trevor, your plans requested.
Oh, we could.
You guys Dayton?
She's right there.
Yeah, Christine.
Christine's right there.
Sam,
Yeah. Quick panini.
Trevor here. Keep everyone that's in it.
Mom, do you want one,
And then
Trevor?
add Cheryl and that's their whole family.
Sorry, Yeah, that'd be nice. So everyone that was in that last shot, so
Okay, we're not. You guys are all the last second.
Beautiful dress.
Boy, they look nice. Who is that lost in one? I know it's not professional.
Suck it in. I do.
Okay, I think I was sick for a minute.
Everybody right here. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to this one.
okay.
Trevor, Christine, Kelsey, Lindsay, Debbie, and Phil.
Lindsay are on the carriage.
Okay, so we're just gonna do Trevor, Christine, Phil, and Debbie.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. Phil and Trevor.
No crime.
The wife.
Could my daughter get in that picture?
She's bride, son.
I'm still a bride, of course. I'm still a bride.
Where's Cheryl in there?
You can put your hand in your pocket. Yeah.
Hey, Cheryl, why don't you come here?
Yeah, my brothers. Those are my 3 babies. Not bad, eh?
Okay, so then we just have wedding party. Phil, Debbie, Cheryl is the last
Christine.
on the list, so.
You want this to keep running?
There we go.
It's Cheryl's time.
Oh, well, that's Cheryl. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you get this.
Really home.
Oh, Cheryl to save the day.
You're losing all your.
I think I better get Cheryl in there.
A whole nother bouquet right here.
After this, can we put these way back?
Right here. Perfect.
Okay.
Now, all wedding parties. Okay.
Bring your faces nice and close.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Yes, we were. And you're welcome to say goodbye to Gus as well. Just watch your fingers around his mouth.
Turn. Yes. 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 There you go.
Going? Okay, look at that.
So face towards that way.
That way?
I just kind of hug on his arm. Bring your face back towards me.
Press onto him. Can you look down towards her, Phil? Phil, can you look down towards Debbie? Can you look at him?
Oh, of course, because that looks stupid.
Are you bringing your foreheads together? Yeah, you can look.
Make him laugh?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
You're gonna take a bunch. Okay, one on this one. It has low battery PS.
Okay, now for
That glassware and bring him, have him do a wash.
Let's look at the video.
Thank you, David. Doug. Doug, no, David from. You're welcome.
That's a very small step. There we go. No, that's the one, okay? They said we're gonna give it a
Absolutely fabulous.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was wonderful.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us as part of your set.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you very
sure.
much. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So, you're in charge of the business side of it?
Yeah, they have that in the office. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for making such a memorable day for our guests. Our absolute pleasure.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Party time. Woo! You know, honestly.
Every time she trips, I pretend I'm dancing. So
You're gonna meet her, but they're using contact.
No, because, you know, like I'm
where's the dairy farm?
Oh, is she out there? No, she's right here. No, she went in the kitchen. I just got her, she had the shawl on the thing.
Well, I guess
This area.
Too much.
Look like lovers over there. I want to go see. Want to go on there?
Can we go again, please?
You guys can go.
Oh, really? We can go again.
Okay, there's another couple to do now, so.
Higher up. Okay. Does that feel better? Yeah, that one's better. Sure? Yeah, that one like looks way more stiff than the other ones, yeah. Okay, well for Pops I have 40 more to pick from. Okay, horses are back, let's go. Hey! Okay, horses are
Go ahead.
Can I have everybody's attention? The bride and groom have finally arrived back from their carriage ride, so it is, gives me great pleasure, it's my great honor to be able to introduce to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Ritchie. All right. And well, I'm going to start from over here. How's that? I'm going to start over here so I'm not in everybody's way. So I'm just going to say a few words by way of introduction. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. In the back? It's okay? Yes. We decided to dispense with the microphones. So I'm kind of done with microphones today. Thank you very much. So that's all right. We'll just speak loud. So if you can't hear anything, just wave your hand at the back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Greg Tweeney. I'm Deb's brother. And I'm going to be your MC for the dinner portion of the evening. On behalf of Deb and Phil, I'd like to welcome you here to the Kiefer Mansion. Deb and Phil are, of course, honored to welcome all of you. That you are all their closest friends and family, and they are honored to have you here to help them celebrate their wedding here in this beautiful vintage home on Thanksgiving weekend. I'd like to introduce the head table before we get started. Of course, we have the kids at the front, Maddie and Brittany and Cole. We have the parents, we have Carolyn and her partner George, and my parents, Debbie's and my parents, Bob and Donna Tweeney here at the other part here, and of course the bride and groom. It's fitting that Phil and Debbie should get married on Thanksgiving weekend because it's a time when we all traditionally pause to give thanks for our many blessings. The celebration of their marriage reminds us all that we have much to be thankful for. And today we can add one more blessing to that list. We're thankful that Phil and Debbie found each other. This day is all about them, the love that they share, and the promise of their wonderful future together. And while we're on the subject of giving thanks, I'd like to invite Pastor Mo to come up and say the blessing today.
Let's give thanks. Let's pray. God, we have been blessed in so many ways during this day. We thank you for the weather, the way it cleared up, and just allowed us to enjoy the freshness of all your creation and the beauty of the spot that we were in. Again, we commit Phil and Debbie to you, and we thank you for them, and may you continue to bless them. And thanks for the blessings we've received in witnessing the beautiful ceremony, and also now for this time of great joy around the tables as we celebrate the ceremony and a great dinner together. So thank you for this food. Bless it to our bodies' use, I pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right. We're going to get started with the first course, and we're going to have more to say in between courses. So you see the menu in front of you, and that's going to be the sort of the course of the evening. So we have a 4-course meal, and you'll be hearing from me and from a few other people between courses. But before we get started, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. On the front table here on top of the piano, as you may have noticed when you came in, there are a couple of things that I wanted to point out to you to remember. The first is there's a little pumpkin, a white pumpkin on the table. If you haven't noticed that, it's white because that makes a convenient spot for people to be able to sign their names. And Deb and Phil, as a little keepsake for them, they would love it if you could just write your names on the pumpkin. There's a marker there. So if you haven't done that, please do that at some point over the course of the evening. And the second thing is you'll notice at the tables beside you on your side plate, there's a little card there. And if you open that little envelope, you'll see a little quill pen. That goes along with our theme for the evening. We have a few themes going on tonight. We've got Thanksgiving weekend, but we also have a bit of a vintage theme because we're in this beautiful vintage home. And what better way to celebrate that vintage theme than have a little quill pen. And there's a little card that's blank on the inside of that little package. And Deb and Phil would be very grateful if you could write a little message to them, maybe a piece of advice to them as they begin their lives together as a married couple. And there's a little box on top of the piano over here that is a little keepsake box, and we'd ask you to put your little piece of advice card inside that box, and they're going to take that away with them at the end of the night. Okay? So I think that's it for now. We're going to get started with the first course. And the bartender, I think, is walking around, so if you need a drink, just flag the bartender down, or you can go out to the bar and visit her out there. And enjoy dinner, and we're going to get started. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Yep.
Have everybody's attention again? I know, but I just said I wasn't going to talk about the microphones anymore, and here I'm talking about
Clear like this.
I have to talk louder? Do I have to turn the microphone on? Okay, so we're going to, while we're waiting for the salad course to be ready, I hope everybody enjoyed the first course. And as a matter of fact, I just want to say one quick word about the soup course. It was delicious. I hope you found it as delicious as I did. They actually cooked the soup in a giant cauldron outside, just beside the chapel where Deb and Phil got married this afternoon. They did? It's a little tradition that Deb and Phil have adopted over the last couple of years around this time of year at Christmas time. So they did that for you today, and I think it turned out really great. So it was a delicious soup. It was good.
Well done.
So I moved the microphone in here. Move the microphone in here because we're going to get some other people, not just me. I'm okay at being a loudmouth, but some people might need a little bit of boost. It shows up better at camera anyway. So we decided to bring the microphone in. Before we hear from our first speakers, I just wanted to say a few words about the Kiefer Mansion because this is a very unique opportunity for us to all be together in this beautiful vintage home. Some of you may know some of this history, but some of you don't. So I just wanted to fill you in. So the original building was actually a log cabin, and it was built in 1792 by brothers George and Jacob Kiefer when they were only 17 and 15 years old. Wow. Which is a testament to what you can do when there's no Wi-Fi. You got to put your hands to work. You can build a log cabin. The building that we see today, the current building as it stands, was built in 1886, which was just a few years before Phil was born. So no, I'm just kidding. Not quite that old. But the Kiefer Mansion was the perfect location for Deb and Phil's wedding. It's the place where they met, and it's the place where they now live. And more than that, it's a reflection of their shared passion and devotion to this home, to its place in the region, and to each other. So that little history lesson kind of reminds me of my own personal favorite historian, who's my father. So that's my little segue to introduce you to my father and my mother, who are going to come up and say a few words. Bob and Donna.
be short.
We just wanted to say, to start with this afternoon, this evening, we have a very simple way to teach people in the whole big area, so watch for it. Mr. and Mrs. Debbie and Phil Ritchie, we are so surprised and thrilled to celebrate this milestone with you today.
Your life together is a real testimony of love, compassion, understanding, dedication, and commitment. Your common bond is definitely visible as a caring couple with a positive outlook on life and strong entrepreneurship at your core. Whether facing health challenges, business issues, or family matters, you both demonstrate a bond of oneness and determination. You know how to work hard, play often, and love completely.
Debbie, your mother and I are so very proud of the young woman and mother that you have become. You look absolutely beautiful, honey. We are so thankful that God blessed us with you as our daughter.
Phil, Bob and I are so happy that you waited by the sandbox for Debbie.
You have to let that go by.
Just an expression he uses once in a while. You are definitely the special one who brings a smile to Debbie's face and a lilt to her step. Bob and I are very pleased to welcome you to our family, along with Cole and Madison.
We invite you all to join us as we raise our glasses in a toast to Phil and Debbie. Here's to your health, happiness, and many years of wonderful memories together.
Long way to go. Nope, I don't want you tripping on my toes.
There's lots of sayings, and my favorite one is life is what you make it. Phil and Debbie have decided to make the you we. And they will stand together and nothing will stop them now. I don't know if anybody knows, but that comes from a favorite song of mine. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Phil Ritchie. As a mother and a grandmother, I am happy to be part of this loving family. And I want to have fun, sing, dance, and be happy. So let's toast to Debbie and Phil.
Thank you, Grandma.
All right, maybe I'll just say one last little word by way of just a general announcement. Well, we're gonna have the salad course next. So no more speeches at the moment, but we're gonna have salad next. But I just wanted to mention, just outside these doors, you may have noticed this beautiful, what looks like a wedding cake. It's not a real wedding cake. Please don't try to eat it. It's a cardboard wedding cake, but it's actually a spot for people to leave your cards. So if you have cards or little like wedding cards with greeting cards for wedding day, right? There's a little slot on the side of the wedding cake for those cards to go in, and you can put your cards in there. So if you hadn't noticed that, there were some cards on the table. We moved them into the box for safekeeping. And but if you have one that you haven't disposed of it, that's where you can put those cards. Okay? So we're going to have salad, and then we'll have a few more speeches after the salad.
For what?
Okay, thank you very much. Get everybody's attention? Okay, does that work? It only works when people think that the bride and groom are going to kiss. Like clicking of glasses thinks everybody's just going to be some kissing going on, but we have no groom, so there's going to be no kissing unless somebody wants to kiss each other. The groom is a traveling kissing show over there, so if anybody wants to be kissed, just clink your glass and Phil will kiss you when he comes by.
Not really.
Right.
Nobody clinked their glass.
Saving Phil for Debbie. All right, so we're going to have a couple more speeches. So to introduce our next speaker, I just wanted to tell you a little story. So many people won't know this, but this morning, Phil and the boys, we all visited a shooting range to pass the time, and while all the ladies were getting ready this morning, we had nothing else to do, so what better guy kind of thing to do together is to go and shoot some guns. So we all went and did that, the guys went and did that this morning, and I'm very pleased to tell you that nobody got shot. Which is excellent news because that means that James is here to give the next speech and a little toast. So I'll turn it over to James Reed, the best man.
Thanks a lot. Okay, I just have a few things to say. It's double space, don't worry. So I'm honored to be here with you today, standing in front of probably one of the best looking crowds I've seen in a room of this size in a long time. So, really? Nothing? Beautiful people. Okay. It's my privilege today to be the person that has been asked to give a toast to Phil's dad, Bill. And Bill's picture is in the corner with a place of prominence, and so it should be. Unfortunately, Bill isn't here with us to share this great event and this celebration, and also acknowledge. I also want to acknowledge how deeply his absence is felt by Phil and anyone who knew Phil's dad. He's a terrific guy. I know Phil, he would be extremely proud of you and very happy for you and Debbie and this union that's happened today. It's too bad he's not here, but I know he's looking down upon all of us today and celebrating with us in his way. So, that said, to Phil's dad, Bill. Billy Nolan. Okay, now that I have the microphone, I've done that. I was only supposed to toast Bill, but I have the microphone. And once you have the microphone, you have all the power. So I'm gonna say something about Phil. So Phil, I'm honored to stand up with you today. It was and act as your best man. Phil and I have been together for a long time. We first as friends. As a good friend, bro friends. And we first met at Brock. For those of you who don't know, we met at Brock. I think we were both sitting in the back of some brutal organizational theory classroom and just biding our time, wondering when's this going to be over, when can we get to the pub? And I was, I looked at him, he looked at me, and neither of us is not helping. That's a Bob Seger reference.
Neither one cared.
And neither one of us cared. And off to the pub we went, and the rest was history. And it was the start of a great friendship. Who would have thought that moment would have led to all of this and all the great things that have happened. So, when I think about my time with Phil and the times we spent together, we've been through thick and thin together. Phil's had my back many, many times. We've had lots of great times. Most of those times have included drinking beer, shooting pool, listening to some of the worst music of all time. I don't know if anybody knows about Phil's musical taste, but it is eclectic, to say the least. Anything from Ray Stevens to the Carpenters, you never know what you're going to get.
Pat Benatar.
Or Pat Benatar. But we've also spent a lot of time talking about business and talking about what it would take to put our families and our friends in a position of success. All those times that we've spent together have just yielded this great friendship. And I'm thrilled to be here. And I couldn't be happier for you and you and Debbie. You guys are the perfect match, and everybody can feel that. You're just glowing, both of you. I think it's terrific that you guys have found each other. That's great talking. But I'd like to just close just by saying, quoting something from the Academy Award-winning movie When Harry Met Sally, starring funny man Billy Crystal and the beautiful and lovely Meg Ryan, pre-collagen injection. Yes. Okay, so here's the quote. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. And that's something that Phil and Debbie have done. So, please join me in a toast to our friend, Phil. Cheers.
This toast is you say you're all
Same one.
Bill, aren't you glad that the kids weren't the ones doing the toast to you? Because if they were, at least my kids would be calling you Philly Dill Pickle. You're the toast to Philly Dill Pickle. All right. So George Kiefer, so you remember earlier I told you George Kiefer is the family patriarch. He was one of the builders at 17 years old of the original log cabin on this site. George Kiefer was a farmer. He was a cabinet maker. He was a businessman. He was a justice of the peace. He was also a captain in the local militia during the War of 1812, for those of you who don't know. He married 4 times. He fathered 15 children between his first 2 wives, and he had another 5 stepchildren. So despite 4 wives and 20 children, he lived to the age of 84 years old, which is a great sign. Fortunately, the good news is that Debbie and Phil, they don't have nearly as many children between them, which is good. They only have 3 children between them. But right now I'd like to call on those 3 great children to come and say a few.
So, those kids wanted just to say something. Yeah, I'm a little bit taller. Just say something quick about what we love about these 2 lovebirds. We're going to start that off with Brittany, since she's the youngest. That's how it always works.
So now just sing
Okay, well, look at that. All the smiles in this room. Well, Mom, the day finally came. It's been me and you for as long as I can remember. I'm so lucky to be able to call my mom my best friend, and walking with my best friend down the aisle today to join our new family was such an honor and meant a lot. We've been through everything possible together. We've strengthened and supported each other for 15 years now. Family for me has been Mom forever. And as great as that has been, the family we have created here has changed my life. Never would I thought I'd be calling the man who threw McDonald's breakfast over my fence 7 years ago Dad. But here we are, and I'd never consider anyone else my father. I'm so thankful for my brother and my sister standing here next to me, and my mom and my dad. I love this family with all my heart, and I love you both very much.
You throw us up. That's not how this works.
I'm gonna mess up.
You're the one that wanted me to go first.
I just wanted to say that these two demonstrate a relationship that I strive to be in one day, and they make each other so happy, and it's crazy. As I watched Debbie walk down the aisle today and I looked into my dad's eyes, I could just tell it was a forever kind of thing. You two are amazing, and I love you both to the moon and back.
Okay. For me, it's always been guidance. That's one thing I love about these two. Whether I have some wacky business idea or I get talked into trying out for one of the world's craziest shows, they somehow keep my head level and my feet on the ground. I can talk to them about anything, and that's something I'll always respect and appreciate. These two have taught me that love is so much more than accepting a red rose out of a group of 19 other guys. It's incredible. So much more. Just a little more. Not much, but we love you, Dad and Debbie, with all our hearts, and we can't wait to spend some good quality time in Spitzalia. Thank you. Cheers to these guys. That might have been a Sweden thing, I don't know.
Yes, oh my God.
Alright, thought I got your attention. The last speech of the night is the bride and groom themselves, and they are going to come out here. Oh, I haven't even got the microphones with that. So how about that? The bride and groom are going to come out and say a few words. So I'd like to call on Mr. and Mrs. Ritchie. They're going to make another grand entrance, and they're going to come and say a few words.
Everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, well, in the in the efforts to pull this off, and horses and food and a bride, and beautiful Debbie, I didn't write much of a speech. Good. It's okay. But I can have a a few words, I suppose.
Yes, right off the top.
And those of you that know me, and you wouldn't be in this room if you didn't know both of us really well, know that most of the time I'm speaking, I'm selling something. I'm selling downtown, I'm selling heritage, I'm selling Thorold, I'm selling whatever, right? And, well, tonight I don't have to sell anything. I am the luckiest man in this room. And I was absolutely speechless today, and I think you all saw it. And I hope it's not bad that I shotguns in the morning and cried in the afternoon. I may need some professional help when we get back behind it. Yeah. In any event, I was absolutely speechless listening to Deb's brother, which was a complete surprise. I was absolutely blown away. And then watching, you know, our beautiful girls walk around the corner, Brittany and Madison, and then watching Debbie, and the sun was perfect, and our closest friends are right there, and I'm just the luckiest person on the planet, and I was just speechless seeing Debbie. It's just so strange. You said to me for probably months, I hope you like my dress, I hope you like my dress. Well, I couldn't even speak when I okay, we'll have to say a few words at the Seneca. The Seneca's going to be beyond a hoop, and I mean, well, before I get to that, I mean, I really don't know what else to say. Those of you that know us, that watched us, we really are really connected. The running shoes, Mo left one little part out, and everything he did was fabulous. And I love the whole thing. Pastor Mo, thank you so much for doing that. But the reason why the shoes were there, in our minds, at least partly, was that we didn't want to walk down the aisle, we wanted to run down the aisle. And, although today is very logistically driven, as you know, you always think you do things more, but I could not wait to be Debbie's husband, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. So tonight's going to be nothing but fun, and thank you for all the wonderful words in private, and the microphone. Thank you for all the efforts. There's been such help, you know, between the wedding party folks, and everyone in this room seems to have done something to help nudge us probably across the finish line today. So we're anxious to get to the Seneca. You folks hang back and enjoy dessert. We're going to do hugs and handshakes with our chauffeur, Mr. David Young, and we'll see you over there. And basically, in terms of logistics, in order to accommodate everybody's flexibilities and ultimate destination points, James and Greg have a book of taxi chits with everybody's names written on them. So come see James and Greg and go wherever you want within Ontario. Get the driver this thing, and it will apparently work out. And they're also going to make sure they're saying cars bottom every 15 minutes. Timmins is every 15 minutes, starting around 11 or so. But come on, you drive safely, have fun, and from the bottom of our hearts,
Yes, thank you.
thank you for today.
My pleasure.
So, I don't know how you follow that, but I do have to say that thank you to everybody that's here. Like Phil's mentioned, you wouldn't be here if we didn't hold you dear to our hearts. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. We're pleased to have every one of you here. Our kids blow us away all the time, so thank you. It was a fabulous day, and it really, really was very special. We're so lucky that you guys are so well connected and have so much fun together. You're laughing all the time. We love it. It's just amazing. And of course, I am so lucky. I should do this lots, I suppose, now, but I'm very, very blessed to be with Phil, and they're going to be going. Anyways, we'll leave it at that for now. You're going to hear from us again at the Seneca. Have a great dessert. The wedding cake is at the theater, so don't be surprised it's not a cake. We're not actually leaving the cake. It's at the theater, so you'll get all those details later. Enjoy the rest of your time, and we'll see you there. Okay?
All right.
busy weekend. Probably do something.
I heard you got married. Yeah, we already did this already.
Hang on, you guys are. Well, I'd like to introduce myself, Bob. Something like that. Turn back and be harder.
Yep, it's gonna be good.
How was it? Did you have fun?
Oh, I did. Congratulations. It was beautiful.
Now we're on, right? So nice of you to come. Wow. You're all over the place. One day in Hamilton and you're here. My oldest friend in the world. A few gaps on stuff.
Without further ado, if you weren't able to shake the hands of the lovely bride and groom, you'll be able to do that after, as they will be mingling about throughout the evening. We do have a special band coming on shortly, but before the band comes on, we will have the first dance by Mr. and Mrs. Ritchie. And so if I can ask Philip and Debbie Ritchie to come forward. The first dance.
We'll
wanted to bring in a band that would really just blow the roof out of here and all about fun. Any of you who have been in Niagara for generations would know this band that's going to take the stage here at the Seneca. The #1 party band in North America, all the way from Rochester. And those of you who've been at the Wine Festival probably can't remember half the times they played there. But it's none other than Nick and the Nice Guys.
couple slow songs in a row. But I think that's wrong, isn't it? I think we have a surprise to Phil, don't we? Ladies and gentlemen, on her first night with Nick and the Nice Guys, can I get a little applause for the one and only beautiful Debbie Gibson? I hand the mic over to you.
I always did say I wanted to join a band. So guess what? Are you ready? Let's go to the best of it. If I do, just roll with me, okay? 'Cause we need to practice.
you, man. So, it's an absolute honor to be up here on the stage, to be able to watch Debbie and Phil have their first dance, and for all of us to be here today. It's interesting because all of our lives intersect at different moments, and they sort of come together, and they go apart, and they come together. And for those of us who have had an opportunity to spend time with Phil, we know his Philisms. You know, it's hell of a life. Are you winning? He always asks the question, are you winning? Talk as we go. I might not be the smartest guy, but then he teaches you a lot of stuff. I had the good fortune of also working with Debbie when I was at the Chamber, and she was a representative for a financial institution. And just getting to know Debbie and what she stands for, the solid core that she is, and what she brings to the relationship, that centering, that really centered Phil. All of us have seen that relationship between Debbie and Phil grow. We've seen it blossom over time. And it's interesting because Phil talks about a lot of stuff. And he's very philosophical. So one of the things that Phil has taught, at least myself and some people close to me, is about the circle and how you're either in the circle or you're not. And what Debbie and Phil have created is that perfect circle. And within that circle, the touch points of Brittany and Cole and Madison, Phil's mom, Debbie's mom and dad and brother, and they're all part of the expanded circle. And it's the touch points of the circle are the areas in which it's not just about life, but it's about the love. And sometimes you drift farther away from the circle, and you got to make an effort every day to stay a part of that circle. And what we here today represent is the circles that touch Phil and Debbie, and it's the circles of love and life that come into intersection. And that's what their love teaches us. And that's what it's taught me, and I'm sure it's taught many of you in the room who saw the first dance, who saw them at the Mansion House when they first fell in love, who saw them through the journeys of Queen Street, and you've seen them through the journeys to Ellicottville in Florida, and you've all had an opportunity to see it, but I think we're all blessed that Phil and Debbie have allowed us to be a part of their circle. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the stage two of my best friends, Philip Ritchie and Debbie Ritchie.
Introduction to Walter. Apparently I pontificated a bit too much. I'm going to keep it a bit thin, but I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Debbie's overwhelmed with gratitude. We are completely in love, and we both feel as if we're the luckiest people anywhere we are. And this room is very special to both of us. We know it's a busy family weekend, but we wanted to give thanks on this weekend. And we are so grateful to all of you for taking time from your inner circles, as Walter noted, to come here with us. I've been losing mine too. It means an awful lot to us. And it's just been a day of surprises, one after the other. We are deeply sorry we didn't have a bigger dining room, so that all of you could have come and joined us for dinner tonight.
Stop being humble, Phil.
But there was no way we weren't going to at least say hi and say thank you and have you help
enjoy our night with us. So we're hoping you have a great time tonight. Debbie and Debbie's family, our children, Cole, Madison, Brittany, 3 wonderful young adults, have absolutely spellbound us all day long. The way they conduct themselves, the things they've said, how they look, was just amazing. No, I didn't know Debbie was going to sing a song. It takes a lot of guts to grab a song in front of 11-piece band and every microphone. So thank you, Debbie. And for 3 months, Debbie, or 4 months, Debbie's been saying to me, I hope you like my dress. And my jaw totally dropped 3 feet below my chin line when I saw her come around that corner in that dress. And you're absolutely radiant, absolutely beautiful. And I do have one small thing on my mind that I just want to share with you before I step aside, and that is that, so Walter's right. I have a friend of ours, Dave Young. I don't know if he's here or not. We were sitting on the deck with us the other day, and he shared a concept. It's hard to see. And we were discussing the concept of time. And he said something that really stuck with Debbie and I. That I think we should all remember on this weekend, particularly, as we're taking time to enjoy friends and our relationships, is that clocks and calendars are man-made devices. They really have no relevance to us other than we decide to ascribe to them. So take the time to tell people you love them. Take the time, you have the time, to make that phone call to a friend you mentioned the call, and connect with your inner circles. And we are so blessed and happy you're part of ours. We hope you have a safe night and a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you. At Kiefer Developments, who's helped with the changes here at the Senator Queen with the dance floor and all the changes to all the cabaret lounge type that we're trying out here in the theater tonight for the very first time. To my brother Trevor, who's prepared a video tonight of some pictures of friends and family that are very important to us during the intermission. And Debbie's family and Greg sang a beautiful song at her service, and Debbie's parents, and the whole team has just been spectacular. So thank you, and enjoy your weekend. Good night.